A very big welcome to everyone out there who is watching us live from all over Canada, all over Africa, wherever you are. We're excited today. You've joined us at the Entrepreneurial Series, and we are here live from the city of where? Where are you? Where are you live from, Sifawu?
I'm in Brandon, Manitoba.
Brandon, Manitoba. Yeah, I'm fully based in Edmonton, Alberta, but right now I am reporting live from Ontario, the beautiful city of Ontario. Right, this series, for those of you who are just joining us here for the first time, this series is focused more on talking to immigrants who are doing something significant out there, and most people do not know what they are doing. And I have a special guest today. Her name is Sifawu Usikalu, and her, what she does is very outstanding. That's why I'm excited to have her here today as one of our guests. She helps African immigrants build wealth through simple, beginner-friendly investing strategies. And when it comes to investing, it always is a very big thing for some people. And most immigrants coming into Canada, somehow it feels like they don't know where to start from or what to do. But I'm sure today, at the end of our conversation, you're going to learn simple strategies on how to start investing. You're going to learn simple strategies on how to overcome the fear of investing. So, Sifao, thank you for joining us today. And to start with, can you tell us a bit about your personal story? What inspired you to focus on helping African immigrants to build wealth?
Yeah, thank you so much, Ajiri. Thank you for having me. Yeah. So, my personal story, I actually came into Canada in 2020. I'm originally from Nigeria. And growing up, I learned about money. I was so fortunate that my dad actually taught me about money. He gave us books to read about money. And it became strange to me when I hear people say, nobody taught me about money. Like, I'm wondering, what word was I in? But leaving that apart, so back home in Nigeria, I had my background in accounting. It made me exposed to investment. And coming into Canada, I discovered that a lot of people, especially African immigrants, do not understand anything about investment. Back home, you can just give an account officer your stuff. You don't really need to understand anything. Just give them your money and they work with you. And at the end of it, you get your interest paid to you. So coming to Canada, for me, so I know that that
Sorry, Sifao, can you stay closer to your mic? Sorry. Okay.
okay. Knowing the type of accounts you want to use, knowing what investment you even want to go into, knowing your investment purpose. These are the things that made me say, okay, it's time to start teaching my knowledge because this is what I already know. So that is the way I can give back to my community, teaching them, okay, this is how you invest. Investing does not need to be overwhelming if you understand the right strategy to use in investing. So that's my story. I came with my family. I'm a mom of three, and I have a loving husband. So we are staying in Brandon, Manitoba.
Okay, interesting. But what was your first step into investing? Was it really easy, scary, or a mix of both?
Okay. So my first step towards investing in Canada was actually scary. Like I could remember that day, I just stood at the balcony and I was wondering what cost me to buy a house in Canada. I wanted to really go into real estate. I was wondering what really cost me to buy a house in Canada. And I went to my phone to check, okay, what's the cost of house be. This was in 2020. And I saw the amount. I'm like, what? It will cost me to buy a house, rental property in Canada. Okay, so I started confirming, okay, what I need. They now said you need credit score, you need to get mortgage approval. I'm like, I just came into Canada like 3 months ago in the thick of COVID, didn't have anything. I just have anything you mentioned. I don't even have a credit score yet. Yeah, so fortunately, I just saw a video on REITs, like real estate investment trust, and he told me, "Oh, you can invest with little as $50, as $20." I'm like, "You don't mean it." So I said, "Ah, if it's $50, well, if the $50 goes, then why not try with $50?" That was how I started with $50. And like I must tell you, it was scary, but I zeroed my mind because I wanted to learn and I needed to dip my feet into the water. So I put that $50 and about 3 months, I just woke up to an alert on my phone. Dividends. I'm like, oh, so this is how cash flow works in Canada. So that is what, but I must tell you, it was scary at first. But when I got that first dividend, I just told myself, now it's time to learn. It means I need that. And that was how I started.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, maybe you need to get your mic a bit closer so that the sound is really very clear. But I'm really, really happy. At least you had a mix of fear and you had a mix of both, and you accidentally got into it. So did you face any unique challenges as an immigrant yourself? When it came to understanding money and investing. So, uh, sorry, I think your mic is out now, just in case. Yes, yeah, okay,
You hear me now?
better now.
So putting that $50, like I said, I was very new in Canada. I didn't really understand what accounts to use. So I just put the $50 like back home, we didn't have special accounts, right?
Mhm.
So until when I started learning that, oh, there are different accounts for different purposes in Canada.
Mm.
So I would say that was the first challenge I faced because I used the regular accounts to invest. And when the dividends came, of course, Canada took tax from it. But if I had knew that there are accounts that can give me like tax-free, tax sheltered, maybe I would have used that then. If I the knowledge I have now, if I added it then, definitely it would have been better. So that was one challenge I faced
Mm.
when I started investing as a
Okay, but what are some of the accounts, right, that one who is new doesn't know where to start from? What kind of accounts can they start with?
okay. So there are a lot of accounts and it depends on your investment goals. But one of the accounts you can use is TFSA. TFSA, that's tax-free savings account. And
Mhm.
why you're using this is because it is tax sheltered, meaning whatever gain you make on your investment, whatever dividend you get, or maybe you sell, you make capital gain, it is not taxable. But the limit to this is it has limits. So for everyone, there's always a limit for you. So you need to know your limits for per year. That's one of the accounts you can use. Then you have the RRSP. So RRSP is good if you're saving towards retirement, right? So that's why I say you need to know your investment goals. What are you saving for? If you're saving towards retirement, you might want to consider RRSP. And that's because it's tax deferred, meaning any gain you make or any contribution you make into this account, you make before tax contribution into the account, and any gain you make is not taxable until when you begin to withdraw when you're retired. And it is assumed that then you'll be at the low bracket income. But if you're not at the low bracket income,
What happens? Ah,
yeah.
so, in your profile, you emphasize beginner-friendly investing.
Mhm.
What does that really look like in practical terms?
Okay. So, what's beginner friendly investing for me? Number one is you knowing your paths, knowing where you want to start from. So when I teach in my class, what I do is we don't just go into investing to say, okay, this is the stock we want to buy. We start from what is your investment goals? What do you want to achieve with this investment? Now, once you get those, we go ahead to discover what is your net worth. Because I don't want you to say, oh, I need to borrow to invest, right? So, what is your net worth? What can you afford to put aside into this investment? Now, after then, we begin to explore, okay, what type of account will fit your investment goals and what type of account will fit, will be able to make you achieve your purpose. Those are the strategies you take. That is why you need clarity. You don't just go to the market. I know a lot of people on this call now, they understand, they must have heard S&P 500. And it's because it's so common. Everybody talks about S&P 500 and you just go into the market, buy S&P 500. But does it fit your investment goals?
Mm.
Does it align with your net worth? So those are the once you get that clarity, clarity is the most important thing in investing. Once you have the clarity, then you can now start learning the nitty-gritty of investing. And investing is so easy and so sweet if you put your mind to it. Yeah.
Sweet and easy. Okay. For some people listening right now, right, who has never invested before, what's the simplest first step they can take today?
Okay. The very simple step to take today is open an account. And when you want to invest, you need a brokerage account. So it's not your regular bank account you use for investing. You need a brokerage account. There are a lot of brokers in Canada. We have Wealth Simple. I almost mentioned Nigeria. Nigeria is home anyway. So we have Wealth Simple, we have Quest Trade. It is so easy to open, like straightforward. Just answer the questions and open them. That's the very first stage. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to take, okay, how much do I want to start with in the market? You can start with, even if it's $10, like, oh, let me test the waters. Let me just test the waters. You can start with $10 and buy fraction. So when I say fraction is maybe you want to buy a share that costs about $100, but you want to start with $10, buy a piece of that share and put it in your portfolio. Once in 3 months, once every week, or once every 2 weeks, you can just check on your shares to see what it's doing. But the first step is open an account, know the amount you want to invest, and know what you want to invest in. Now, for you to determine the stock you want to invest in, I'll give you a cheat code. Now, the thing you do is just look around yourself. What is it that you use on a daily basis? Like if you have an iPhone, if you have an iPhone, if you watch YouTube, oh sorry, if you have a Samsung, you watch YouTube, you have Gmail, all those are on, right? Look for that company. Now check their history. Have they been around for a while? Check their history. If they've been around for a while, let's assume Samsung phone. Samsung phone in a family of five, if you see three people using phone, you might see one person using Samsung, like an Android phone, right? So if it means if you use it on a daily basis, about 70% of the population also use that thing. Why not look into that and invest into it? If you don't know anything about the market, just say, okay, I use a Samsung phone. If I pay my monthly due, then I need to get something back from them. So that's the best way to go into the market.
So this is when you are trying to pick a particular stock or investment you're considering, right? That's when you look at everything you use on a daily basis or anything people around you use on a daily basis. That's an indicator of something reasonable to invest in. Okay, that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense, you know. But when it comes to well building mindset, right? What mindset shifts do African immigrants need to make to move from just earning to actually building wealth?
Okay. So the one mindset shift we need to create is we need to move away from survival mode. Right now, a lot of people, a lot of African immigrants, what we're just doing is, oh, let me just be able to pick my bills. But you need to move from that stage, move to a strategy stage, a mode where you begin to plan to say, okay, what do I want to achieve in the next 5 years? I don't just want to keep paying bills because a time will come that I would not be able to work again. So at that time, what would I must have kept something for that time. You save for your future now, right? So you need to move from that survival mode. I don't just want to keep working. Like that is one thing that we need. That's the biggest mindset shift you need to make. I don't just want to keep surviving. I want to be able to move out of that survival mode into the mode where I begin to strategize. I begin to plan for the next 2 months. I begin to plan for the next 12 years of my life. So once you're able to move from that, your mind would open. And once your mind opens up, you begin to see a lot of opportunities that ordinarily you not see.
That's really outstanding. I'm just wondering, right? How important is it for you to join a community or have a support system when it comes to investing journey?
Okay. So community is everything. Like um a lot of people think community means, oh, maybe I have to go and join like 20 people or 30 people outside. Even your family, it's a community on its own, right? So you need community in everything. Like when we ordinarily, if you come to Canada, if you don't have anybody in Canada, it becomes twice difficult for you to settle down than somebody that has at least one person in Canada that can tell them, oh, you need to go and do your sin today. You need to open a bank account, right? That is what community is. It's the same thing in investing because there are things, especially if you're just starting, right? You might not be able to understand everything. So take my story for instance. When I invested that $50, if I was in a community and the person and in that community they discussed that, oh, there are types of accounts you can use in investing. Though the tax I paid on that dividend is very minimal, but I wouldn't have paid that tax. That is how community is important to you, not only in investing, in every part of your life. Community is very, very important.
Thank you so much. But what's your advice for people who feel overwhelmed by all the information out there? Because everywhere you turn to, Instagram, Facebook, somebody's talking about investing. Somebody, I've joined a lot of communities where this person is giving an opinion, this person is saying this. How do you advise people who feel overwhelmed by all of this information out there?
Okay. So the first thing I will tell you is shut your ears to the noise because there are a lot of noise on the social media. Like, like just like I mentioned, like if I meet 10 people that talk to me about investing, I can bet you that eight of them would tell me they will mention S&P 500 and they don't even know what it is, but they just say, ah, it's S&P 500. You understand? Because the noise is out there. So the first thing you need to do is shut your ears to the noise outside. Now, when you want to invest, look at your strategy. What is it that works for me? Right? Because nobody comes to pay my bills, nobody goes to make the money for me that I want to use to invest. So I need to look for something that would work for me, that fits me, and that suits my situation. So shut your ears to the noise and look for people that you can trust and learn from them. That is very important. You need to learn from people. We are not an island. God did not create us to be an island. That is why He creates every other person, gives every other person unique capacity and capabilities, right? So you need to know somebody that's, oh, this person, I think, oh, I've been listening to this person. I think this person is knowledgeable in this area. Then you can tell the person, I want to learn from you. But just shut your ears to the noise because you're going to lose money if you begin to hear all the noise on social media, you would lose money and you will not be interested in investing.
So invariably, you're saying that people should have maybe pick a mentor and choose a mentor, something like that, right?
That's right.
Okay, that's awesome. I know you've worked with a lot of people, right? But based on our conversations in the past, right? But can you share a success story of an immigrant you've helped and how many simple steps changed their financial life?
Okay. So okay, let me just tell story of I think two stands out for me. So one is Amma. Amma came into Canada, I think 2021, and she actually came in with money. Like she came in with good cash and she was just looking for where to invest. And of course, she had a lot of things on the social media and she put her money in a lot of investments and virtually lost her money. But fortunately, our paths crossed and I was talking to her about investing. I was like, oh no, I'm not interested in not, I've lost a lot of money. Right. So I had to call her out. Okay, let's just have this discussion. And the first thing we started with is she didn't move. The first thing we started with is okay, let's take a look at your Wealth Simple account, right? and we looked at it. What she was doing was she was trading. She wasn't actually investing. And that was why she was losing money. So before I go into her story, now there's a difference between you trading and you investing. Trading is you want to make quick cash. I buy today, I sell tomorrow. I buy now, I sell in the next 10 minutes. That is you trading. If you don't understand the market, you will lose all your money if you're trading. But investing is I am buying for the long time. I am holding that money for the future. I'm not planning to sell it tomorrow. I'm not planning to sell it next tomorrow, right? I'm holding that money for the future. Now, we checked our account. Just like I said, she was actually trading. So I told her, you're trading, you're not investing. That is why you're losing your money. So I told her, okay, now for you to invest, we sat down, we did our investment goals. What do you want to achieve? Why are you trying to invest? We did our net worth. Okay, how much do you think you can start with investing? And I told her, now I'm not going to give you far-fetched something that, oh, go and invest. I'm not going to suggest companies to you. In your daily life, what do you do? What do you use? Like, just write 10 things you use on a daily basis. And when she wrote it, we checked the analysis on Google and Yahoo Finance to say, okay, this is what they're doing. Now, when you're picking stocks, I don't just pick stocks. I look at your history. I look at what you're going to be paying me in return, which is the yield I'm going to be getting as an investor in your company. And I look at, have you increased your dividend over time? These are the things we look at to say, okay, oh, this company is right for me, right? So when I'm looking at your history, I'm looking at your 5-year history, I'm looking at your 10-year history, because 5 years, I know, okay, is within COVID. Then, am I still there? Okay. 5 years, I know it's within the COVID period. 10 years, I look at 10 years to say, oh, this company is standard. It's been around for a while. Then after then, we can now start investing because we know we've considered the yield. Is it going to be paying us? Have they been increasing? Have they even defaulted on their dividend? Because I don't want, it's cash flow, right? I'm expecting $200 at the end of this month. You now tell me, sorry, no, I don't want that kind of story. So those are the things we check. And Amma was okay. She was one that wrote, okay, I use this, and we checked. And she was okay with the investment. She picked the ones. And few months, like, it wasn't even up to 3 months because this thing, they pay quarterly, right? It wasn't up to 3 months. And she got alert. She rang me like, Sifawu, I got alert. Is it real? I said, sis, it's real, like real. Because you know the feeling you get when back home, when you are doing profit sharing in the office, when you're working in an organization and you just hear profit sharing, alert, bang, bang. You know that feeling. That is the same feeling you get when you get your dividend payment. Because you're not working for it. Your money is doing the hard work. And that is Amma's story. And today, Amma can comfortably send money back home. She doesn't even need to touch her income. She doesn't need to touch her income. She can send from that dividend back home. And if she wants to reinvest, she does some and reinvest some, but there are some that she said, oh, this will take care of my brother's transport fee, instead of just take it out and send to my brother back home in Nigeria. She doesn't need to touch her income. And that means she doesn't need to get an extra job.
Outstanding.
Yeah, have to be able to pay
Outstanding.
for
That's awesome. So you talked about one mistake Amma made, right? But what are other mistakes that most beginners make over and over again when it comes to investing, and how do they avoid them?
that. Okay. So other mistake most people make is they think you need a lot of money for you to start, right? And the truth is, you don't really need a lot of money, especially if you don't know the market, like I keep saying. Start little, then begin to learn about the market. Like I said, I started with just $50, even though back home I understood investment, but in Canada it's a different terrain. So I needed to understand it. So don't start with huge capital, start little, then begin to learn the market, then begin to grow in it. Then other mistake I've seen people make as well is in the type of accounts they choose. I've mentioned that as well. Like you need to know even if it's $100 tax you're paying, if you reinvest that $100 tax back into your investments, it will give you more money, right? So you need to be aware of that. And another thing the mistake I've seen people make is they just follow the hype on the internet. Oh, this shares is paying, it's doing $2 today. I heard it's going to make $10 tomorrow. And they put their money into it. They follow the hype on the social media. But you need to block your ears to the hype on the social media, right? And other thing is you need to seek knowledge. I cannot overemphasize it. You need to seek knowledge. A lot of people do not want to seek knowledge. They just want to, like, oh, let me just start. You need to seek knowledge for you to be able to stand very well.
That's awesome. Thank you for all of this advice. I know there are lots of people listening out there, or there are people who will listen to this video and they are wondering, how do I avoid some of these mistakes? Well, you talked about trends in passing, but when it comes to trends and opportunities, looking at things historically, do you see that in the next 3 to 5 years, or what trends do you see in the next 3 to 5 years that most immigrants should pay attention to when it comes to investing?
Okay, so when it comes to investing, um, I would say the trend you should pay attention to is what companies are coming up, but you still need to come with your investment goals, right? Because what is happening right now? So AI is developing, right? AI is coming up, and that is going to it's going to be like that for the next 3 to 5 years, for the next 10 years, thereabout. So even if you want to invest in AI, because that is the next trend now, you need to look for something that fits you. Need to understand that there are some AI companies that are growth companies. So there's a difference between a growth company and a dividend company. A growth company are the ones that mostly don't pay out dividends. So all the money they get, they reinvest it into the market, and their price, the price of their shares grows. But a dividend company, their price would not skyrocket that way, but they will pay you part of their profits. So, and there are some that are hybrid, like Apple, they are hybrid. They pay you a bit in dividends, and their price would also keep going. So look out for those things. So what is it that is coming up right now? What is it? What is the new thing that is happening right now? AI. AI is a new thing that is happening in the world right now. So, and I believe it's going to be that way. So if you want to invest, you might want to think going into AI, but at the same time, investing it might be risky. Investing might be risky if you don't really understand it. So make sure you understand what you're going into. But if you don't want trendy, look for companies that have been around over time. Even if, for me, if I want to invest in AI right now, I will still look for companies that have been around over time, that are doing AI, and invest with those companies. I will not just look for company that just came up yesterday and say, oh, I'm into AI.
Talking about trends, right? What are your opinion about crypto investing and real estate investing? Because it's still investing. Everywhere I turn to, people are talking about crypto and all of this, which is not bad. It's some people is preference, right? Yeah. So
Okay. So for me, crypto is trading, and I don't do trading, right? Like I said, I don't do buy and sell. I target the long term. And the reason I don't do buy and sell is because I don't have the strength to be looking at, oh, what's the market now? What's the market next week? No. I rather do the long term. So for me, I don't do crypto. But if you want to do crypto, it's nice. If you want to do trading, it's nice. You can go into crypto. Now, for real estate investing, it is my game. I will do real estate investing. And the reason I will do real estate investing is because now, okay, there are two types of real estate. Let me say real estate investing where you buy shares, right? That's the REIT. I'll do that because number one, I don't have to bother about my tenants. I don't have to worry that the tenant did not pay. I don't have to worry that, oh, something is spoiled in the house, I need to repair it. All I'm doing is I'm giving investors my money to worry about the tenant for me, worry about the things that get spoiled in the house for me. At the end of the month or at the end of 3 months, just tell me, Sifawu, this is your check. And I go to claim my check. That is what I want. The other side of real estate is where you buy physical property. For now, I'm not really interested in that. If somebody can take off the stress off me and I don't need to get mortgage, like I don't need to put that huge debt on myself, why not? That 20% I will be looking for to buy real estate, I would rather put it in investment because I'll still make the same thing. I'll still make almost the same thing back when I invest in real estate. But it depends on you. That's my own preference though.
Fantastic. So I was just looking at rounding up now. Like, what is one action you want every listener out there to take immediately after listening to this episode? What is that one step, one action that they can take right now?
So, one action you can take right now after listening to this is open an account, open an investment account. You know what it does? When you open that investment account, it changes your mindset, it gives you focus, and it opens your mind to want to learn about investing, right? Open that account, and well, every day you look at the app on your phone, it reminds you, oh, I need to learn about investing. It reminds you that, oh, I need to start investing. And that will begin to shape your life, right? It begins to shape your life. Begin to say, oh, where can I get that $10 from to put in this account? So that's the first step. Open that account. Just be looking at it on a daily basis. As, I have this app on my phone. I need to do something with it.
All right, that's awesome. Okay, how can people connect with you to learn more or to want to work with you? And how can people connect with you?
Okay, so my social media handle is my first name and my last name, my LinkedIn, my Instagram, my YouTube, my TikTok is my first name and my last name, Sifawu Usikalu. So if you put it even on Google, and the funniest thing is I'm the only one that bears this name in the world. So you can't miss.
Really?
Yes, I'm the only one that if you put this spelling, oh, Sifawu Usikalu, I'm the only one that will come up on Google. So
I
yes.
used to think I was the only one that was an Alibo until I met another Alibo somewhere, and I was
No, the
like,
reason I said so is my last name is only beard by one family, and I'm
wow,
the only one that bears my first name in that family. So
wow.
yeah, so that's my social media handle, and very soon I'm going to be launching my program, the Diaspora Investor. And the Diaspora Investor is specifically built for African immigrants in the diaspora. And what are we doing? We're learning to invest, we're learning to build wealth, and we're taking it simple and steady. Like all those jargons you're hearing on the internet, we're not doing jargons. We're going to break it down in a layman's language. Like, when you go to the market and they say, how much is this tomatoes in Nigeria? 20 naira. That is how we break it down for you to understand. So the program is launching soon, and
Okay.
the waiting list is already out, my VIP waiting list. So if you want to join the
Mm.
waiting list, like the first to get notified once we launch the program. But for now, I only do one-on-one because the program, I'm revamping the program. So if you want one-on-one, the link are all on all my social media.
Wow. Okay, please follow Sifawu Sikalu if you want to learn more. But I have a final question for Sifawu before we round up.
Okay.
What does wealth mean to you personally?
Hmm. So to me, wealth is freedom. Like um, freedom to support family, freedom to be able to go on vacation when I want to go and still have more. Like I don't need to say, oh, I want to, like I'm wealthy to the point that I've paid all my bills. And now I'll be able to support everybody around me. I'll be able to give back to my community and I still have excess. That is wealth to me. It doesn't have to be much money, but anything that would pick all my bills, that would make me support my community and still have excess. I'm not scared that, oh, what if this happens? I'm not scared. That is what it is. It allows me to give back and I have the freedom to do so.
So, when it comes to looking at wealth from that perspective, this is awesome, right? Uh, does it always relate to only investing, or generally speaking, it can be?
So wealth is everything. Like it might be in terms of your health. Like I live well, my health is good. I know I have to take my exercise seriously. I know I have to take water when I need to take water. It might be in terms of education. I know I can't just stay in one place. I need to keep educating myself to understand. Because if I come into a place, I must be able to contribute my quota. That's being wealthy as well, because it gives you freedom. You're not scared of entering any meeting when you're intellectually okay, right? That's freedom as well. So wealth, it's everywhere. It's not only finances. And wealth also means that I'm leaving something behind. I'm not scared that, oh, what if I'm called home today? My children will suffer. No, I'm not scared of that because I've built something for them already, right? That is wealth as well, because you're taking care of your tomorrow. What happens tomorrow? We don't know what will happen the next minute, right? So I know my children cannot, because I already have it packed, like life insurance and everything packed. So if anything happens to me, keep living your life, right? So wealth can be in every area. It's not only finances. That is where a lot of people confuse it. They say, oh, it's only in finances. No, it's not. It's all your life, all around your life.
Wow, that's fantastic because people don't see wealth from the aspect of health, mental health, family, loved ones, and everyone around you. I truly appreciate you joining us tonight, Sifao. Once again, if you want to reach out to Sifao, you can reach out to her on Instagram, on Facebook, she's on LinkedIn. Her name is very unique, Sifao Usikalu. You can check everywhere. Just put it on Google now. All her platforms will show up for you. You can check her out, DM her. She can change everything for you when it comes to investing. Just have that conversation with her. It won't harm you. She's doing it for free. This is a way of giving back. So why not take advantage of this? Don't waste any time. Sifawi is there to hear you out. If you're an immigrant, African immigrant, listening to this podcast today, make sure you reach out to her. And I tell you the truth, you will never be disappointed. Be like Ama, whose life changed because we met Sifawi. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening. For those of you who are live, thank you for listening. We're really excited that you tuned in today, out of your busy schedule. And we will look forward to our next episode where we will invite another guest. And definitely, our aim is to help you get more information on where to start off as an entrepreneur and how to start creating wealth as an ordinary Canadian citizen. Let me put it that way. Thank you so much and looking forward to seeing you next time. Right.
Thank you for joining. Thank you so much.